I like our talkie ones. We're just doing a talkie podcast today. That's what we're doing.
Talkie
welcome to Ram and Goat Astrology. I'm Laura Lee.
I'm Helena.
Thanks for joining us today. My energy's a little low. Can you feel it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm burning out.
I feel like now you're sort of like matching my energy. I feel like I'm always like, really, I'm like up tempo.
Yeah.
So hello.
Hello.
I just asked you, how's your boob?
My boob is all right. I've had been dealing with mastitis. So for anyone who's listening and doesn't know what that is, it is an infection around the mammary glands, especially when you're nursing. But I've also found you don't have to be a nursing mom to also get mastitis. I've actually had it twice when I wasn't nursing. That was really interesting.
Was it between kids? Was it after you've had your first kids?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Kids. Yeah. So it was when it was during a very tumultuous time in my life when I really was not taking care of myself. Very tumultuous time. Our marriage was really on the rocks. My health was really, really bad. It was right before I started my stem cell transplants. So I was dealing with being partially paralyzed. It was really, really intense. And I developed mastitis when I wasn't nursing. So this last time, a couple days ago, this was my 14th time having this.
Fuck.
So let's chat about this, shall we? Because I got some intuitive spiritual stuff come through from other people. And then when they gave me this answer, all of a sudden my chart popped in my head. And then I started like searching on my chart and I was like, oh, isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
So I've been playing around as you know, and most people know that I did health coaching for about 10 years professionally. And then when the pandemic happened, I switched courses and brought astrology as the forefront. And then like health coaching as like part of it, because as I was doing health coaching, I kept doing astrology anyway. I couldn't do people's coaching sessions without seeing what was going on in their house of health or in Virgo or what, like I needed to see their chart. So now as I'm doing astrology professionally, right, I now really like to see health stuff. And it's harder to, it's harder to see your own chart. It's harder to interpret your own chart. It's so much easier to have somebody else's eyes on it and see different things. So I was listening to a friend of mine and who was telling me about the Reiki session she did on me. I told her I have this breast infection. And so she does hypnosis and hypnotherapy and Reiki. She lives in Serbia, so nowhere near me. And she said, I did Reiki on you and I got very strong message that you have to have more water. You have to cleanse more in the shower. You have to drink more water. You have to water. And I was like, okay, fine. Now, I've known this for a few weeks. There has been someone in my like spirit auditorium who's been like, hello, excuse me. You need to drink more water, please. And then like they would like disappear. Like they come up and say it again, and then they would disappear from the microphone. And I'd be like, okay, yep, okay.
Have you been listening?
Yes and no. I'm nursing both kids right now. So Saffron's 2.5, not even 2.5 yet. And Felix is 3.5 months and he's at a big growth spurt. And Saffron, I kind of limit. She's like maybe 2 to 3 times a day, but still I'm nursing 2 humans.
Yes.
And it's exhausting. And to be able to keep enough water in me, just regular for being July while we're gardening and all that, and sustaining milk supply is quite intense. So I heard this message a few weeks ago and I'm like, okay, I'll drink more water. And I've been trying. And then my hypnosis Reiki friend said water. And then that evening, the lady that's living on our land right now to hopefully buy the local cafe, she's working on all of that. She said, I just listened to this podcast and it was all about water. And it was so interesting and how we don't know very much about water and how like 80% of us is water. and we understand all of the other percentage, but not necessarily how much water affects us. And she said they specifically mentioned mastitis in this podcast.
What? Okay.
She said of all the things to mention, they mentioned that. And I was like, so that was 2 messages the same day within several hours from other sides of the world, right?
Yeah.
And then I had also had these messages a few weeks, like ongoing for a few weeks, that I had not told anybody. So I was like, all right. And as soon as my friend told me about this podcast, I immediately popped my chart in my head. So I'm actually going to share it because I think it's easier to just view it. But I don't have a whole lot of water in my chart, and I don't have any earth element to hold the water that I do have. Think of what earth does. It absorbs the water to hang on to it so that we don't completely dry out in the fire, right? So there's no, so I just started thinking about this, like thinking elemental. Deborah Silverman likes to talk elemental a lot. And I'm like, if I have one earth thing in my chart and it happens to be my wound, my wounded healer, and that's it, there's literally nothing for me to absorb water with. So I have to keep consuming it because it evaporates so quickly with all of my fire and air, right? Like, let's just think of an element. If you have a desert and it's hot air and water falls, it may not even fall all the way to the ground because it'll evaporate on the way down, right? Yeah. So then I'm looking at my 6th house, health, right? And in here we have the planet Ceres, which is our house of, or our planet of nurturing and mothering and like really filling our bucket. How do we nurture ourselves? So that's in my 6th house, and that's in Libra. Then I have Jupiter in Scorpio, and it's fairly unaspected. It's not really talking to anybody. Jupiter is a lot, and it's in the sign of water in the house of health. I have to drink a lot of water. Oh, I'm sorry. I was talking about Pluto. Sorry. Pluto is 26 degrees Libra. Ceres is 26 degrees Scorpio. So I have Pluto, Jupiter, Ceres, and Uranus all in my house of health. And Jupiter and Ceres are both in Scorpio. So I have to really nurture myself by drinking an intense amount of water.
A lot of water. Yes, Ceres, nurture yourself, Jupiter, a lot.
And Jupiter, and then Pluto's over here at the beginning of the 6th house going, excuse me, you need to transform the way you do your daily routines and health. Hello. Are you gonna get this? No? Okay, I'm gonna blow shit up. All right. Thanks. So I keep having these like death and rebirth things, aka having children. And I have to keep learning this lesson over and over and over. Yeah. And I just find that so intriguing that I have to drink an immense amount of water to get rid of this breast infection. And
that's interesting.
I have nothing to absorb the water. Isn't that just something to think about?
But what do you think then? Like, okay, yeah, you need to drink a lot of water, but I'm thinking if we're looking at your chart elementally, like only elementally, yeah, you have your wound in Earth, which and no planets, no aspects, no planets, no nothing in Earth, just Chiron, the wounded healer. If you had nothing, not even Chiron there, I mean, that would be it would be hard to absorb any water. Right. But with Chiron, I feel like it's almost a little bit harder. Like, yeah, it's in Earth, but it's saying to you, it's your wound. It's like, I don't want to hold anything. Right. So I'm thinking that the Earth is the key.
You're right. This is probably why I have 35 acres that I have to go out and garden and tend to and plant on and be in the physical element of the earth. And I work hard at it. I'm very stubborn, Taurus energy about it. But it's something like I can't explain. I have to do it. I have to keep putting trees in the ground. I have to keep planting stuff. I have to keep cutting trails and tending to my garden. And last night when I wasn't feeling well, I went to the garden and gave all the tomatoes a haircut for 2 hours and trimmed all the tomatoes, trellised them all up. And that was like the way that I nurture myself. So it's there. I'm working on healing that Chiron wound, but I can feel it. I don't want to do it. I have to do it.
Of course.
That makes sense.
No one wants to. I mean, it's hard work.
Yeah. Especially this
Chiron
generation of Taurus Chiron. Like, we a bunch of stubborn mofos.
We don't.
We're real stubborn about our wound, and we're going to hang on to that wound for a real long time. Yep.
And yours is in the 12th house too, like you said. And so I feel like it's not just involving you. You have to sort of do research, like, back into the history of, of your ancestor. Like, how did they handle their earth, their like self-worth or money or food, safety, security. Taurus is so much about safety, security. Yeah. And I mean, now this, what is this? Progressed sun?
Yeah, that's the progressed sun.
Yeah. So, all right. So the progressed sun is lighting up your Chiron.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what in the world that one means. I'm gonna have to do some Google research on that one. I don't particularly.
It's something.
I don't like it.
It's. I mean, I don't even know. I don't know so much either. We talk a lot about the progressed moon, not the progressed sun. We haven't dived into that yet, but it must be something. I mean, it's there on the chart, and the sun is huge and bright and lights up everything it touches. And right now, it's lighting up your Chiron in the 12th house.
It is
your only Earth.
Yeah,
it's not holding any water, and you're getting mastitis.
Yeah.
Mastitis.
So what I find interesting though is Chiron is talking to two things. He's having a square to my MC in Aquarius, which happens to be right next to my Venus. So what I do for my contribution to society and what my purpose is and my career is directly square to healing this wound, right? Like, causes tension. Like, the career stuff I choose, the purpose I'm doing is causing a tension-filled conversation with this wound, and I can't for the life of me consciously understand it. 12th house is unconscious, right? So frankly, it drives my Gemini self and all my air intellectual self crazy that I can't consciously understand what that conversation is. Like, why are they tension filled? What about what I'm doing for a career is causing tension with this wound? I'm not seeing it yet. And then the other conversation it's having is,
I think I am. Sorry,
are you? Please tell me.
I just thought of something. I mean, I know that you have changed career so much. Right? And what is that doing? It's making your finances and your security very unstable. You didn't have that, paycheck every month, being employed, because you've been doing your own thing and just changing your jobs and doing all the fun things because you love change. And it's fun, but it's not secure. It's not that, it doesn't provide that safety.
Okay. All right. I see that. Oh, I feel called out. Someone inside is like, ooh, I don't like it.
No.
However, Chiron is having a sextile almost exactly 19 degrees and 18 degrees to my North Node in Cancer. It's the only thing I have in Cancer. And Cancer is our healer, our mother, the way we heal ourselves. I always picture it like, doesn't it look like a pair of boobies? It looks like
never thought of that. Yes.
I always think of Cancer as like the nursing mom, right? Like, she's giving her energy, her healing life source to her child.
Yeah.
And I feel that very intimately right now. And, it's the parenting sign, it's mothering. And my North Node placement tells me I'm here to mother. I'm doing it.
Yep.
So why is it what the sextile between Chiron and North Node tells me that leaning into healing and nurturing myself and mothering and being gentle with my kids is the way to really heal that Chiron. Right?
Yeah. And specifically like your body, because it's in your first house. So you really need to take care of your body, the physical body that you have.
Yeah.
And that will make you probably feel more safe and secure.
So back to this mastitis thing.
Yeah.
And water thing. I'm looking at this chart going, North Node's in water, Cancer, in the mothering sign, in the first house of Aries. So we still have some heat. There's still some fire there. Which is funny because I don't like to drink cold water. I will not touch cold water. If it has ice anywhere near it or has been in a refrigerator, I won't drink it.
Yeah.
It has to be warm water.
Clever girl.
Isn't that funny? I find that amusing.
Yeah.
And then this Pluto and Ceres both in Scorpio, like that's an intense water sign. Intense, really intense. And then Jupiter's sitting there like, I'm just going to sit here and be really big. I'm just going to be really big and really intense in your daily life every day. And I'm like, oh, my daily life is so intense. And I have to take intense care of myself. And I have to drink intense amount of water. And I have to be alone, intensely alone in a big way on a daily basis.
Alone? How do you see that?
Scorpio. I feel Scorpio, it tends to like this like alone
to hide away. Yeah.
Yep, to hide away alone. And look at me out in my studio recording a podcast.
Yeah. Yes.
Look, my house
under
is
your
over
rock.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. So I find that really interesting, the elemental makeup of my chart and then my health stuff, right?
Yeah.
I'm so intrigued by the way health things play out in people's charts. And
so how are you going to do this then? I mean, now I know you're going to drink a lot of water, but what else? I don't think that's enough.
Damn it, I didn't want to hear that, and I know you're right.
No. I want to hear about the earth. What are you going to do?
What structure will you put into place?
Yes.
My Pisces Mercury is like, I don't freaking know.
Because I know that you're not a huge, like, you're not very good at remembering to eat. Yes, talking to you. So, you know, that first house, then connection to Chiron in Taurus, I think that, and like, so the North Node in the first house of mothering, you have to mother yourself by taking care of your body, and that will in turn then lead you to take care of your wound and make you feel more safe and secure. You need to eat good stuff. You need to eat, like, you need to feed yourself a lot, not just like, now I just ate something, but like, oh, look at this thing that I'm gonna eat. It looks amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm gonna drizzle some honey on it. And oh my God, I'm really enjoying eating. And this is gonna go into my body and I'm gonna love it. And it's gonna make me feel so good and full and
joy in eating. Okay.
Yes.
That's the thing. So I love really good type of stew and casseroles and like the meal where it's all mixed together and it's kind of creamy and has like the veggies and the noodles and the meat all like mixed in. Like that stuff feels so good.
Yeah.
That's probably the only joy I get. I wouldn't say I get joy from food though. I love
so that's the only food that you
the warm, nourishing like soups and stews and stuff. Like that makes me go and like melt, but I don't feel like I know what joy feels like. I got joy down. That's a thing I can do. I don't know if I've ever felt too joyful about food though. Isn't that interesting?
No. Yeah, but do you feel like, is it okay? So if someone gave you like okay, I know you don't do gluten. If someone gave you a gluten-free blueberry muffin for breakfast.
Yep.
What do you think? Not what do you say, what do you think?
Awesome. Like, it's kind of like
Yeah?
okay. It's an awesome feeling. Yep. It's an instant, like, awesome. I don't even want to say this out loud. And then someone's like, okay, I can eat that and keep working. Like,
so it's only to sustain
literally
you.
just fuel in the tank to so I can keep doing something else.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's not bad.
I feel like my South Node is coming in here big time. I really feel like my South Node is showing up big
South
time
Node,
because
Capricorn. Yeah.
I want to keep working, and the food is simply just to sustain the physical body so I can keep doing instead of sit to be
and enjoy it.
Yeah. And as soon as you said muffin, someone in my head went, "Oh, good, grab and go."
Oh, like, nice. It's easy and fast.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay. Well, at least I just want to see if you felt any, like, if so, because sometimes we don't know, but like especially around food, I feel like people grow up with parents who talk a lot about not eating certain types of food and like, oh, watching their weight and that, and then you start feeling guilty about food, and maybe food stops being joyful because you just think, oh, should I be eating this? Oh no, now I'm eating it. Oh shit, I ate it. Instead of enjoying stuff. But it's not that. It's that you think of it as just this like base thing of to just sustain you.
It's the next thing to get me to keep going. It's like if you're in a hot air balloon and you have to pull the heat thing so that you can keep flying, right? You fire it up and then you stop firing it and the balloon keeps going, right? I feel like the food is just simply to stoke the fire.
Yeah.
But, I feel okay, so
yeah. No, not at all. And I'm getting a little bit philosophical now because I'm thinking like, okay, so what is food? Food is so important in our lives. Like it's so important. It's what we do. We
in Earth
eat.
School, yeah.
We eat, we drink, we sleep, we go to the bathroom if there is one.
Right.
That's pretty much what we have to do to survive. Right. That's the only things. And if you don't, I mean, I enjoy doing all of those things, and I think most people do. And I'm just thinking, like, how can someone not enjoy food?
Isn't it an interesting concept?
Yes, because my mind's trying to go. Maybe it's fine if you don't enjoy it?
I really think it's my wound in Taurus. I think that's where it's coming from. And then that's square to Venus. I don't love the things Taurus loves, which is food.
Which is food pretty much. And really enjoying, because Taurus is that the really like sensual one, like, oh my God, a strawberry. Oh,
exactly. Yeah. And then look at, I've got Venus and MC square to Ceres. And then when I really started looking up Ceres represents a relationship with food, nurturing, and then that maternal archetype. So that's a big thing. So if we have this planet that is our relationship to food, and it's in this sign of transformation and sex and death and rebirth, it gives a complex relationship with food. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. It's just it's just weird. I can see where I do emotional eating for sure, or not any eating when I'm emotional, right? There's one of two things. So, and being connected to this Aquarius Venus, like Aquarius is whatever, like you can't predict it.
And do you think that when you go a day without eating, do you think that a part of you is like, the Aquarius side comes out and like, well, I don't need eating. I can keep going without eating. And that makes you feel like a little bit unique, and you're like
a rebel.
Maybe other people need to eat, but I don't, And it makes you like feel good about yourself because you're like, well, I'm different because I don't need this that other people do. And because Aquarius can sometimes feel a little bit more like not really looking down on other people, but just feeling a little bit more special than other people.
Yep.
Like I'm different. I'm not like the rest, you know?
Yeah. I'm not going to go binge on McDonald's, but I'm going to binge on water or, tea or something. I'll sustain myself with my Earl Grey tea. Or it's like a weird, stupid rebellion, right?
Yes,
like
it is. It's
why would I rebel against my own self? Like it's
because it's a square, and because it's Venus and Chiron.
So I just looked up
Taurus.
eclecticwitchcraft.com has an article on Ceres and Scorpio, and it says Ceres and Scorpio can have a significant impact on our relationship with food, as Scorpio is known for its association with sex, death, and transformation. Individuals with this placement may have a complex relationship with food, which can lead to issues with binge eating, emotional eating, or a strict diet. The relationship with the mother can also be intense, as Scorpio is associated with the mother archetypes. My mom came from a family of her aunts, uncles, and cousins were all very overweight. Very overweight. And grandma was like the runt of the family, and her little Virgo self made sure to stay in a very thin and very healthy energy. So I think there's a lot of subconscious messages through my maternal lineage about weight and food and all of that too. For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, interested. Oh, it says this placement can lead to a hyper bonded relationship with their children. Yep.
Okay.
This is in the 6th house of everyday routine too. Like this is a Virgo house. Like I gotta figure this out and have a system and a structure. And this Venus in Aquarius is like, hell no.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. So what are we learning here?
That I want to cry.
Yeah. Yeah, that's water. That's water too.
We're learning that charts are frustrating, and even if you understand them intellectually, you still have to live them emotionally and the reality of it every day. Still got to live with this,
There are times where I'm feeling shitty and I don't want to look at my chart. I know there's something there and I don't even want to look,
Yeah, I do know.
Frequently. So it's hard when you're in it.
Yeah, in it. Yeah, this article says, while Ceres and Scorpio can have a positive impact, it can also have negative manifestations, and individuals with this placement may struggle with control issues. Yep. It feels to me like with Chiron in the 12th, I know I've had past lives with food issues, food insecurity, money insecurity. I actually ended up channeling one of my past lives. I think I told you. I was like a mom of like a ton of foster kids in the deep south of America. And I think I was a Black woman. And I had tons of children, and it must have been like a famine. And I just had no teeth. I had no meat on my bones. I was skinny. And I was real like angry and unhealthy because there's no nutrients in me. And I'm trying to, take in kids who don't have homes and feed them. And there's just kids everywhere and no food. Now we have kids everywhere, but lots of food because we grow it ourselves. But that might be part of why I have this overwhelming urge to grow my own food, because I lived through that kind of famine. So I know there's been past lives with food scarcity, money scarcity, health issues around food. So I can see why I would have some control issues now, which then leads to me not nurturing myself enough while I'm nursing these babies, being a mother, and not drinking enough water, and then getting depleted and getting a sinus infection because now I'm irritated, and we store the emotions of irritation in our sinuses. And then now it has dropped down into my chest, which is where we store grief. And I told Philip this morning, I need to cry. And he goes, well, let it out then. I was like, I don't want to. It's like, well, it doesn't do you any good holding it in. I was like, yeah, I know, but I can't just cry. Like, I have to either get like injured. There has to be like a physical pain or something to trigger the cry. So, and it's raining out, and I always cry when it rains. So I'm waiting. It's going to come out today. I can tell. I can feel
it. Do you have like some really sad songs that you know gets you? No? Do you get gotten by songs?
I get gotten by movies, and this sounds so funny. I watch a show called Long Island Medium, and she's a lady who's a channels spirit, dead people, and she makes people cry all the time. And I do frequently with my chart readings, but she said when she does her stuff, she has to shut her emotions off, and I frequently do that with chart readings too. But when I watch her show, I cry every single time. And I bet you if I turn that on, I could probably get some good waterworks going.
I think you should.
Someone in my head's
so
like,
good.
no.
Well,
I just heard, I don't have time for that shit. I think that's Saturn. I don't know who that is. That's funny.
Yeah, well, tell that someone that if you're going to feel good and be able to keep working,
right,
you know, you have to take care of yourself, because otherwise you get sick and then you cannot work.
Well, exactly. And I like, I intellectually know this, but man, that moon in the 12th house is challenging to access. And look at it's opposite my independent, rebellious planet. I don't want to cry. No.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Damn it.
No, I don't want to. I want to be, and I'm having a Sagittarius progressed moon right now. So, like, I want to be optimistic and joyful. I don't want to cry.
But I feel like crying it's like that. It's almost like a happy or like a good optimistic thing, because it's like a step on the way to somewhere, you know?
You know
usually
what
when you're crying
it's exhausting to cry. It
Yeah.
is physically and mentally, emotionally, and spiritually exhausting for me to cry the way I know is coming. Like I know what's coming up. I can feel it's like halfway between my heart chakra and my throat chakra. I can feel it coming up. And I know it's going to be a big one because it's all of this crap in my lungs. And I know it's pertaining to the intensity of my daily life right now. Like Felix is getting to be more interactive and more demanding. And he's a Jupiter Sun conjunction. Like he and Aries, I don't care if it's in the 12th house or not, that still shines through. And he very much wants and needs his mama right now. And well, Saffron's just Saffron. She's 7 planets in Aquarius. So, you know, and these 2 little kids are forcing me to just like constantly surrender. And that requires letting go and accepting. And that requires purging old shit, right? And like the shit that has to come out is deep and it's big and I know it. It's Jupiter energy. I can feel it. Oh, where's Jupiter in the sky right now? Hang on. Jupiter in the sky
Taurus, no?
He's at 12 degrees Taurus. So it's
getting close to Chiron.
Yeah, and he's 4 degrees off of my natal Jupiter, or opposite. So it's still a pretty good opposition going right now. I'm still feeling that energy, but I very much feel like this intensity with this need to be alone, which would be the 12th house, right? Like leave me alone. And then 6th house in Scorpio, leave me alone.
Okay, so tension between leave me alone and leave me alone.
It's bigness. It's big transformation and change. And this is the shit that happens after you have babies. You don't just like have a baby and then you're like, let's move on with our life, right? Like there's this constant like upheaval of shit to let go so that you can be this new mom for this new human that clearly is quite spiritual and wants me to clear some spiritual baggage.
Maybe you can learn some of that Chiron 12th house from him too. But I think, but I was thinking, I'm not I'm just gonna say something that I thought about
Okay.
that might sound so silly and
Do it.
might not. When you eat, could you just tell your food how happy you are that it's here? Like,
I'm
you
ready.
don't have to say it loud, but like, look at your food before you eat it and appreciate it. Like, look at it and not appreciate it because it's going to sustain you. Also that, but then also, thank you for filling my body.
Yeah.
Thank you for nurturing me. Thank you for being delicious. And imagine your body just receiving this food with joy and not being like, okay, thanks, now it's enough, now I have to go. But like, this is a moment, like every time you eat is like try and make it a little celebration, because I think doing that, just changing the little pathways in your brain, I mean,
Yeah, do a little road
that
construction.
changes so much.
Yeah. I think that's something that's possible for me pretty easily too. When I look at Ceres is 26 degrees Scorpio and she's trying to Mercury at 25 degrees Pisces. So I think I do have an ability to really shift my thinking around food. I've done it many times. I used to be a normal American food eater. I used to eat all of my food microwaved. I worked at Olive Garden for 3 years. I worked at Applebee's for 3 years. I ate all of that all the time. We ate a lot of processed boxed food, a lot, and we were very unhealthy mentally, physically, emotionally. And when we started to change our food, we started to see our mental health change and our emotional health change. And both Philip and I recognized the mental connection with the food we ate. So I've made massive changes with food over the last 20 years for sure. So I'm positive I can do this, Ian. What you just said, I just don't think I've ever thought to do that.
Yeah. And I don't know if you even think that it's true. You might not think that this is delicious and you're going to go into my body's going to be so happy. But I don't think that matters what you think. I think you just need to tell yourself that this is, and that is going to change how you think then about it and how you feel about it.
All right.
And I think your body will be more receptive. Yeah, great. I think your body will be more receptive if you say that, because I learned that from someone a few years ago, that eating with fear or eating with any other kind of emotion, it puts that energy into the food. Like if I'm gonna go for a burger, if I'm gonna go for something that I think might not be the best thing to eat, and I eat it thinking, oh no, this is not so good for me, that's what my body's gonna do. It's now my body knows, oh shit, this food that she's putting into us right now, to me right now, it's not good. This is not good food. This is not good food. And that's what I'm thinking, and that's what I'm telling my body.
Yeah.
So yeah, so instead, when I eat something like a pizza or whatever, I'm thinking, oh my God, this is so delicious. And I know I don't do it so often, so it's not like I do it every day and I think this is so delicious. You also have to be smart. But when I do it, when I really treat myself, I don't think bad thoughts about it. I think this is so delicious.
Heather, who we had on the show, functional medicine practitioner, said, if you eat something that you know is not, good for you, she said, bless it and go.
Yeah, exactly.
The worst thing you can do is eat it in guilt. And so you're not the first person that has said this to me. I like that idea. I really do. I think this is great advice for everybody who eats. I think a lot of us eat very mindlessly. And eating more intentionally is definitely a practice that I think would be great for not only me, but my son, who has Sun, Moon, and Mercury all in Taurus. He loves his food and he eats very mindlessly, opposite of me, right? I don't eat, he eats too much. Like him and I both have to work on this. So I like that. Look at my food and thank it, make it a celebration. My body will be so happy. I wrote all kinds of notes. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
I like that advice. That was good. That was good stuff. I just find charts to be so interesting when you start to really look at the daily things that you experience, whether it's health or relationship or whatever, and you just keep going back and examining, right? just keep checking it out and seeing like how this plays out. And, you know, having that progressed sun on Chiron, I'm like you said, I'm sure it's doing something. I don't know what, but it's lighting it up.
Yeah. And this is also what's so cool. Like, yeah, you can, how many times have we looked at your chart and we have never had this conversation, you know?
No.
So even if you might have had an astrology reading to learn about your sun and your moon and your ascendant, there is so much more. And like, there's so much more, I almost find it easier when you attack your chart from an issue you have in your life.
Yeah.
Like you bring up, like you brought this thing, like
Yep.
I'm having an issue with mastitis.
Yep.
And then we end up on, you know, eating.
Yeah. Water and food and nurturing myself. Yeah. Isn't that so interesting? I just pulled up the transit chart to see where planets are, not the progress stuff, but Ceres is transiting through Libra right now, and she is at 10 degrees Libra, and my Mars is 11 degrees, and my Pallas Athena, our wisdom, is at 12 degrees. So my planet of food and nurturing and mothering myself and just filling my bucket is going right over the top of my drive and ambition and my wisdom. So I'm glad we're having this conversation right now. Like my drive to do something about this is clearly increasing.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get smart about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I needed a buddy to do this. Thanks, buddy.
Well, thank you for being so like taking it like a champ. You know, it's not easy, like you said, like my head is saying no, or like I don't want to listen. And it's not so easy to you also need to be humble, like to be humble with your chart. Like,
yeah.
Yes, I can escape. This is my chart. You know?
Honestly, that's what made me cry a couple days ago when that Cancer new moon and Cancer sun were opposite Pluto. Ah, man, I feel like everybody felt that one. Everybody felt that one. That was an intense opposition and intense new moon, and I cried big time and for a couple days. And then right after that cry is when I got the sinus infection. And then right after I cleared the sinus infection is when I got the mastitis. And now the sinus infection like dribbled down into my lungs, and I'm like, I got some stuff to work on. Okay.
Yeah.
Now here we are with water.
Yeah, you know what you can do also if you want to add some things. You can, because I went to reflexology school, and so I learned that the place on your foot that is the place for your lungs, or maybe you know. I'll tell you anyway. The place for your lungs is on the upper side of your foot. If you're looking down on your foot, and you cut away your toes, and you make a triangle from the top, and then the point is down. So it's a line, a straight line where your toes used to be, and a point below, and you make a triangle.
Yeah.
That is the area for your lungs. So I'm going to show on video, like, if this is your foot, this part is your lungs on the upper side of your foot. And you should just do this. Like, how do you explain this, Laura?
Like pinch it and lift it and twist it?
Yes. Pinch it and just pinch that area on your foot a lot. It's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. And especially if you're feeling grief, or if you're like a smoker, or you had COVID or whatever.
Yeah.
Do this a lot. I think it's going to help you cry, like lift that grief from your lungs.
All right. I will definitely try that. That's interesting. Yeah. I'm not one to ever like make myself cry. That's not something I've typically had to do. I know, like, intellectually I'll get this, I need to cry. I'm like, okay. And I'll take note, and then I'll hear it again. I needed to cry. Okay. And then something throughout the day will happen. Like too much stress will build, and then it all comes out. Or I hug my husband, and my ear and like everything, my head is right at his heart chakra.
He's so tall.
And he's so tall. And so when I hug him, I literally listen to his heart, and then I feel really safe in his like bigness. and then I start to release. So that's the other like safe spot that I can release. So
that's so interesting. And also he is a lot of earth. So then you literally being held by earth, and the earth is saying, it's okay.
Yep.
Let out that water. We
Yep.
will receive it, you know?
Yep. And I'm noticing I'm able to do this with my son a little bit more too, now that he's like getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I've always been able to release pretty well around both of the boys, around Philip and Elliot, and I'm grateful for that. The girls, not so much.
Yeah, because your son Elliot, he has so much earth as well. So your safe spot is with the earth people.
I never thought about that. That's so interesting. Yeah. That is so interesting. So I just looked up progress sun because I'm super curious. So the progress sun moves about 1 degree per year and shows how you mature and grow as a person and how you change as you get older. The impact of a progressed sun aspect can last for about 1 year before and after the aspect goes exact. Oh, goody.
Mm. It's not exact yet, right? It's like just before.
Just before, yeah. So the progressed sun in Taurus, when your sun is in Taurus, you become more drawn to having things of value in your life. You want material wealth, fine items, but you're also concerned with core values and beliefs. You crave more stability in your life and want to keep things even and calm. That is so not happening, but I want that. You're less likely to want to rock the boat, and you continue working on things you've begun in the past and have already been proven to work, instead of taking great leaps with new innovative things. You know, this has been a couple of years of this now for me, and I definitely feel, because I'm 41, so, and my natal sun is 8 degrees Aries, so I had a whole bunch of time with Aries sun, and I can feel when that moved into Taurus. I know when this happened. I don't know the year, but I know exactly when my life started to shift into that. It says you take your time, not in any rush to get through anything, and want to kick up your feet and relax more often. You may feel more sensual and in touch with the earth on a physical level. Hello, garden. Hello, farm. So, this is Dark Pixie Astrology. If anyone's interested, I'll give them a shout out.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I like their information. Very good information. So if that energy is going over the top of Chiron, I do crave more stability. And in order for me to do that, I have to heal something.
Yeah.
I have to heal something.
Yeah.
And I do want to keep things calm. But Uranus is also just going over the top of Chiron. So that's not calm.
That's not calm. How many degrees is Uranus now? 22.
22, and Chiron's at 19. So, and the progressed sun was at like 18. So it's almost there.
But do you feel like, because you are so in touch with like the spirit world, if you can intentionally try and feel your way into that Chiron?
I think I am. I think I am, by embracing my intuitive abilities when I do readings for people, or even in my daily life. So I don't even want to tell you because you're going to laugh your butt off, but I got another cat yesterday.
Then I have to hear it. You got a cat?
We got a cat yesterday.
Oh.
You want to know what we named her?
Yes.
Spirit.
Oh.
Okay.
Great.
So here's the story. My friend Tara, who I went to astrology school with, right? She was in Deborah Silverman's astrology school. Her and I, whenever we do chart readings or we connect, something majorly spiritual happens. And she's the one who told me I was a messenger for my grandmother. I went and told my grandmother some stuff that spirit was telling me, and grandma revealed this big family secret. And it was like this holy, oh my God. So every time Tara gets involved in my life, there's like a ping, right? Ooh, spirit has something to tell you, Laura. Like, she's like one of my messengers. So she tags me in a post on Facebook. She lives in Montana, like not anywhere near me. She tags me in a post on Facebook. Her friend in Wisconsin needs a home for her cat. Now, I don't need any more cats. I don't want any more cats. We have 9. I'm good. I'm really good. And so I messaged this lady and I was like, try and find her a home. If you can't, like, reach out to me in a week. Okay. So Jeanette, the lady, messages me and says, you know what, we'd love to talk more if you're interested in taking her. We really just want to find her a good home. She needs to have outdoor time. She's a great mouser. And we live in an area where the neighbors are not okay with this.
Oh.
And again, she's probably killing birds is probably what she's doing.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, okay. And at this time, we're messaging back and forth. I still don't want this damn cat. I'm like, no, I don't want it. And then she said, my sister Sarah really needs to find her a home. And when she said my sister Sarah, that for me is like my spirit message, because Philip's sister, our sister Sarah, passed on 2 years ago. And that name is very popular. But whenever it comes to me in a certain way, that's my like ping. And she said, my sister Sarah really needs you to take this cat. Okay.
Wow.
And so I surrendered. And I started chatting with them, the 2 of them, the sisters, in this text. And this is happening like Monday, and today's Wednesday. And they live 2 hours south. And they're like, we'd be willing to come up and drive her and bring her up tomorrow. I have to go back to my home in Colorado, which is where Philip's sister lived. And I was like, shut up. I was like, okay, all right. What's the cat's name? The cat's name is Daisy. We just lost our donkey 2 months ago named Daisy. I was like, oh, are you kidding me, Spirit? Are you kidding me with this? Like, come on. And I'm not looking for these messages. And I'm not like, come on.
Yes.
So they bring the cat yesterday morning, right before we have a big homeschool field trip on our farm. They bring the cat. They drive in the driveway and they just like automatically, it's Sarah and her mom who's elderly, and it was the elderly mom's cat who can't take care of her. And so she drives in the driveway. She's like, this is just the perfect place for this cat. Like, we are just so glad that you're taking her. And I was like, well, I'm glad I can provide a home. Clearly Spirit wants me to have this cat. And I was trying to figure out what to name the cat. And Gertie said, how about Spirit? And I was like, and my younger brother goes, how do you not have an animal named Spirit yet? Clearly I'm waiting for this one, right?
Yeah.
So the cat shows up, comes in her house, starts walking around like she's been here her whole life, like she knows the place. Like, if you guys have cats, if you've had cats, they don't adjust like that. They don't just like start prancing around the house like, this is my place.
No, they like to, suss things out.
Yeah. Oh no, she was like, oh, thanks, this is where I live now. Totally fine with everybody, laying on the chair, purring, going by the kids. I was like, what in the world? So now I have another cat named Spirit. And I thought about Jupiter in my 6th house of small animals. And Uranus in the 6th house of small animals, opposite my moon in the house of Spirit. And I'm like, okay, all right.
Yes.
Whatever. I can't with this. Crazy shit.
Wow. I love hearing these stories. It's just so fascinating how, some I think some are born with a more like closer to be able to hear their like messages, and their intuition is more turned on and everything, and we all can learn to get more like that, but some of us just have it like an easier access to it.
Yeah.
And you for sure for sure have it. And it's so interesting to hear how it shows up in your life, and how like different worlds are talking and giving you messages and pointing you in directions, and you listen.
I looked at Philip. I'm like, honey, I couldn't have avoided this one. He's like, I know. He's like, well, it's better than getting dropped off in our driveway like they usually do.
Oh, really?
People drop off cats just on our farm.
No
they drop them off and go.
way.
That's how we've got at least 5 of our cats.
Because they know that you have a lot of animals.
Or, oh, here's a nice farm. We'll drop in here. At least 5 of our cats have shown up that way. So he's like, well, at least this one was like a nice family that like
Yeah,
at
they
least
drop. Yeah,
with us.
at least they asked you before
And
they
they brought
dropped
us
her
food,
off.
right? And a nice blankie for her. So, but I thought if there's anything that helps me heal that earthy wound I have, I think it's animals and my earthly requirements that animals need, right? Like the petting and the sitting and just being with them and the loving on them and the taking care of them. So I think that is part of my path, is really leaning into those earthy responsibilities that animals bring. So I don't know. I wasn't looking for a cat, but Spirit is here. Which is interesting to be like, where's Spirit? And then Philip's like, that's what I need to say.
Yeah. Go
so we
feed
now
Spirit.
have a cat named Nirvana, a cat named Spirit, and a dog named Karma. Oh, interesting. Life is crazy.
Yes.
And you have a birthday tomorrow. I have to say that. We have to say happy early birthday to you.
Yes, thank you.
At the time of this recording, your birthday is in less than 24 hours.
Actually, it's 5.5 hours away.
For you, that's awesome.
Yeah.
5.5 hours. So are you celebrating this year in a big way, or are you keeping it chill?
Both. I'm celebrating in a chill way because me and my boyfriend are going to Yasuragi, which is like a Japanese bathhouse sauna place, and we'll
fun.
Oh, it's amazing. We'll love that place, and we're gonna be there. I think it's like when you get a day pass, you spend like 8 hours there, and we did this a couple of years ago. And I remember when we came out, like we were not done. Like we can just sauna and swim all day long. So that's what we're gonna do tomorrow. Just
oh my god, please take me there when I come to visit. Please take.
Oh yes. And they have this really cold pool, so you go from like a you go into the regular hot dry sauna that has like an amazing view of the ocean, and then you go into like the cold plunge, which is ice cold, and you go in there for a bit, and then you go into the steam sauna and you take some of that. They put out like big piles of sea salts, and you just scrub yourself with sea salt. You go and sit in the steam sauna, and then you go outside and swim in their hot like warm pools that are sort of like hot springs.
Yeah.
And then you just that on repeat, pretty much.
Oh my god, please take me there.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. Aside from the cold plunge, but everything else sounds amazing.
Oof, but it's so good afterwards. Like your whole body wakes up. Oh my god, yes.
My body's like, oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I remember we talked about this before. Like you're like,
put all my fire out. I don't know about that. I like cold water.
No, I wasn't sure either before, but well, don't knock it till you try it.
I would be willing to give it. I usually try everything once.
Yeah.
I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
I might not like it, but I'll give it a go.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a really nice birthday gift.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a great Taurus Jupiter energy thing to do. You I'm gonna go big on really relaxing. That's great. I like that.
That's what we're gonna do. And eat some good food.
For your solar return, we're going to do a solar return reading for you on the show here. But for your solar return chart, Jupiter will be in Taurus for your year.
Oh, that's right.
So you'll be able to nurture yourself all year long in that kind of way, like really be big about sensual pleasures. Oh, I'm so excited for you.
Yeah.
Jupiter's not in Taurus for me this year. It's in Aries. So.
Oh. Yeah, and I think I saw that the sun is 2 degrees, something like that now. So I think my solar return will be the day after my birthday.
Okay. Yeah, your sun is 4 degrees 56 minutes Leo, and currently the sun is 2 degrees and 48 minutes. So yeah, a little bit. Yeah. That's exciting. I'm happy for you to be able to do that. And you do that all day? Do they feed you?
Well, they do feed you. So we're gonna eat some Japanese food over there, and this place is amazing. Like when you go there, they give you pretty much like a clothes, like a bathing suit, and it's called, I might say this wrong, yukata, something like that, which is pretty much a kimono.
Okay.
Like a cotton kimono.
Yep.
And that's the dress code. You cannot wear anything else. So everyone's walking around with these kimonos. And even when you go and eat and everything, you just see people with a kimono. And you're not allowed to have your phone. You're not allowed to have a Kindle, nothing electronic. You're not allowed.
Good for them.
Yes. So it's like this super calm Zen place.
I can't wait to go there. I'm so excited.
Yes.
I got to plan my Stockholm trip to go to the Japanese bathhouse.
Yeah. Yes.
That's amusing.
It's really amazing.
I love that for you. That sounds really cool. So you have series. Your series is at 1 degree Aries. So going in a steam sauna sounds perfect for you.
That's my natal placement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Your natal placement series so the way you nurture yourself is in a fun, Aries, hot way, and really being, having these fun times and doing these fun trips and just doing weird shit like this is so perfect for you.
Putting my body in hot places.
Yeah, but you got that square to Chiron in Cancer, so interesting. Water's a thing for you too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yes. We have that drowning thing. I have a drowning thing.
Oh, you got a drowning thing? I got famine and starvation things. So yeah, look at us.
Amazing. Look at us go. Yeah.
This was a very helpful chat today. I know we kind of went all over the place, but I love that we do this with our podcast every once in a while. We just willy-nilly it. I needed that. I needed some talk therapy on the bigness happening with my health and my apparent water issue, which I'm
So what you're gonna go and do now?
Well, I'm first of all gonna look at my food and thank it. I have a bowl of apples right next to me, so I'm gonna thank that food and I'm gonna make it a celebration. Because Helena said I have to. So.
Yes, and it's Leo season. Come on, celebrate.
That's true. That is true. It is time to do that. And Mars is in Virgo, and he's going, come on, be good about your health. Work on this. You can do this. Be diligent. All right. Thank you. Thank you. So I love that. I think I'm going to go eat. And then I'm working on my Cosmic Mama Collective. I'm excited. I'm just about ready to launch my online membership for our place to sit and chat about all this kind of stuff, right? Like taking care of yourself and nurturing yourself and digging into astrology charts even more and finding out where other mamas' issues are with, it might not be food for them, but maybe it's sleep or maybe it's checking out into, online games. I don't know, right? Everybody's got their thing.
Yeah. So, where can people find this?
So currently, nowhere yet.
Okay.
But eventually it'll be at my website, lauraleelotto.com. I'll have a pop-up and links and everything to that. But I'm really excited. It's going to be this online membership community where a safe place where mamas can come and gather and chat like we did today, but not necessarily to the whole internet, right? I put my shit out there to the whole internet because that's what I'm supposed to do. But this will be a safe space where there won't be judgment, just help understanding, right? Like if you're feeling shame or anxiety or guilt or whatever, let's dig into that and find where that is in your chart. Let's find what child is triggering that for you, what their placements are. Really just a lot of chart explanation and exploration as we parent and as we learn to reparent ourselves, which is what I'm trying to do, right? That's what I'm doing right now today with you. I'm learning to reparent myself. And this is the stuff we're going to explore in this Cosmic Mama Collective. And I'll be teaching twice a month. I'll be bringing in guest teachers. Anybody who's a member will have discounted readings with me and have access to like emergency readings if they need an emergency reading because they're teenagers, insane or whatever.
That's a really good thing to just be able to check in and like, this is happening right now. I need
understanding,
some perspective, some astrology perspective on this.
Yes. Yes. So I'm super excited and it's super low pricing right now to anyone who wants to help me be a foundational member. So anyone who's going to join right now is going to get really, really low pricing, monthly pricing or yearly pricing. So all of that is currently in the process of creation and hopefully will be launched in a week.
Amazing. So, and do you have to know about astrology to be a member?
Absolutely not. This is where we grow and learn together. So if you are astro curious and are like, oh, I don't know enough about that, I don't know if I can join. No, come on in. If you are not even a mama and you just want to learn to mama yourself, come and join. A safe place for parents, women mostly, but however you identify, whatever. Like, come on in and learn to parent yourself in a new way. And yeah, it's just this community that I know I am craving, so I know I need to create it.
Yeah,
so
that's it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm doing this afternoon, is I'm getting that ready to launch and hopefully get the back end of it done, which is not my strong suit. So I'm leaning on my earthy husband to help me finish it. I got it about 75%, and now I'm like, honey, I need some help. So that's what happens when I burn out. I got nothing left, and I need some earthly support. So he's going to come in today and help me do that. So that's the rest of my day. I'm excited about it. It's going to be a really amazing community, and I can't wait to get it launched during this Leo season. It feels really right to do this during this time frame. So yeah,
amazing.
It was nice chatting with you today.
Yeah, same.
Thanks for joining us, whoever's listening. And if you identify with any of the stuff we talked about today, or if you want to comment or have any questions about your nurturing planets or where your issues are, let us know. Send us an email, ramgotastrology@gmail.com, or you can leave a comment in below the episode, however you want to do it. And then please like and share this with your friends. We are growing slowly, but we are growing, and it's so great to see. And it's so amazing that people want to tune into us. There's so much content out in the internet, right? So much. So we're so thankful for anyone who listens to our random chats.
Yeah. And if you if you feel called to and have the funds and so on, feel free to buy us a coffee or a tea. Laura needs that liquid. So buy her a tea, won't you?
Thanks so much, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Ram and Goat Astrology. You can support the show by buying us a coffee or a tea. Link in the show notes. Your financial support means the world to us. Join us next time.